Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the organizers for inviting me, especially this was Professor Akhmetov, and I would also like to thank Mr. Ibadildin, who supported me concerning the logistic and technical issues. So now let's start talking about the merit of my presentation. Some time ago, I noticed that there are some countries who better implement their public projects, and some other fail more often than others. So there is probably some difference in the ways of governing public projects. Natural temptation is to research what are the reasons of better or worse performance, what is going on, and what are the reasons of this level of performance. So I started thinking about this, and I received a grant for researching this topic. For 2 years, I was analyzing several countries in several ways, and collected some 3,000 of government level practices. After that, I tried to systemize them, to build some models. I built two main models, which I will be talking about. One is governmental project implementation system, and the second is just what is in the title of my presentation. This is governmental project management maturity model, showing how governments advance. There is issue of moving to the next. So generally, the motto of my research is: I do not ask what project can do for governments. This topic is handled by several researchers who just define effective procedures and environment for delivering projects. My motto is: I ask what governments can do for their projects. If you want to learn more about what I will be talking, this is I published in the United States a book titled Projects, Government and Public Policies. So, what are any government's goals? The only goal, according to some researchers and to some approaches, with which I agree, is that the goal of governments is just implementing public policies. Everything what any governments do is implementing public policies. Public policies may be documented, may be not documented, may be better documented or worse, but the crucial, pivotal concept of public administration is public policy. From the point of view of management, we can see two main types of public policies. One, that's what I call project-based policies. Project-based policies are those whose implements lies in implementing some projects. A good example is the policy of shortening communication between cities or areas of given country. And such a policy is implemented by building several pieces of highways and roads. So all of them are projects. This is the second type of public policies. They are operation-based policies. Operation-based policies are those that main component is implementing some continuous processes. Probably the best known is the policy of tax collection or educational policies, which the main point is teaching pupils or health services. continuous processes of health services. But also in this operation-based policies, the projects have their role, namely, at the very beginning, there must be some changes to these processes, and these changes are implemented by projects. So, according to this, the way to improve public policy implementation is improving the success rate of their projects in both types of public policies. By the way, there are also mixed public policies consisting of both projects and operation, but we will leave this. So the goal of projects may be seen as improving the success rate of their projects, and success rate that does not come by chance. This comes by improving project management capabilities. So the presentation will be just about this government or public administration capabilities. Anyway, there are many failed public projects, like the best known are Montreal Mirabel Airport, Canada, which was to be the biggest airport in the world, prepared for Olympic Games in Montreal. The area of this airport was to be 250 square kilometers. Currently, this is under demolition. In Poland, we organized the Euro Football Championships in 2012, and some projects from that program, like constructing network of highways, is under construction all the time. And for instance, in Poland also, there is a Via Baltica. This is highway connecting Warsaw with Baltic countries, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, and it was late for 4 hours. Very good known example of projects which was not implemented according to its schedule is Berlin-Brandenburg Airport, and many others. I don't know, probably in Kazakhstan you also have some failed projects, but that's what I do not know perfectly. There is, on the basis of this situation, one of the best known academicians currently working on mega projects, Professor Ben Flewberry, defined the something which what he calls iron law of mega projects: over budget, over schedule, over and over again. So governments, of course, know about this problem, so they try to implement some measures to improve their situation. For instance, in the United States, there is a Program Management Improvement and Accountability Act, which requires, among others, that each public agency, federal public agency, must have its project and program methodology based upon renowned global standards. They have Office of Management and Budget, which controls public projects. They also enacted Government Performance and Results Act, which requires each public agency to have its strategy, which is performed by projects. They contracted developing CMMI. CMMI classifies vendors according to their maturity in implementing projects, and several other measures to improve this rate of successful implementing public projects. Very well known country for its good performance on public project implementation is United Kingdom. They defined a project delivery standard, defining general rules for project implementation. Very important is OGC gateway process. This process consists of evaluating major projects in most important points in the life cycles, like after initiating, after planning, after some phases of implementation. The point is that it must be performed by bodies independent of the implementing structure. Oh, they have very effective body, which not a long time was called Infrastructure and Project Authority. Currently, it was renamed to National Infrastructure Service Transition Agency. Prince 2 model P3M3, which we'll be talking about. Other countries also countries or supranational organization define processes for implementing public projects implementation. European Union even defined its project management methodology PM2, which they plan to be the obligatory methodology for public projects or projects financed by European Union. In Inter-American Development Bank, there is interesting solution. They define the requirement that any country, before granting the loan from that bank to this country, must enact public projects implementation law with a special accent pressure on defining public project portfolio. So there are several attempts, but there is natural attempt to systemize this in some system based on best practices from several countries. So the first attempt to what I call governmental project implementation system is a system which defines the steps and rules for implementing a public projects from initiation to evaluation. Initiation, planning, implementation, monitoring, and so submitting, transferring products to operation, and after all, evaluation. There are two countries which should be mentioned here. This is Iceland. Iceland is the first country in the world which enacted the project management act. This was speaking precisely for infrastructure projects, and in consistence of four steps: alternative assessment, planning, construction, and assessment of the completeness. Similar type of governmental project implementation system was enacted in Pakistan for development projects from identification through implementing and monitoring up to evaluation. But there are also some processes which are implemented outside such a process, which have influence on the success, on performance of public projects. For instance, who should manage public projects? Should be there any criteria or not? Or what companies should be certified to implement public projects? These two are examples of factors influencing public project performance outside this first generation GPIS. So there are more factors influencing performance of public projects. First, I will show you some general pictures of the model of such a system. After that, we will go to details. Such a governmental project implementation system of the second generation consists of 4 territories. First, maybe the most important is the delivery territory. Delivery territory is what was present in the first generation. So everything from initiation to completion, but also some other functions, which we'll be talking just soon. But this delivery territory may be implemented in specific, separate, individual public administration. The second area is the area of governance. This is governance territory at the government level. Government territory is a framework defining how projects are directed, controlled, and held accountable for project performance. It defines processes, structures, roles, and so on. And this government may impose implementing just this solution in specific or all public administration institution. This is the second area of government GPAS of the second generation. The next area is support. Support. This is an area not very often met in practice in many countries. What is support? Support are functions of supporting troubled projects by central institutions. Popular approach to problems in public projects when a private company implementing public projects, when they meet some risks or problem, is it's your issue. You signed the agreement. It's clearly stated that this is your issue, and we will just be waiting for delivering results according to contract. But in fact, who is accountable for each public project? This is this is government as a whole, or some maybe ministries department. So reasonable governance implements the support functions which support public projects when they cannot solve their problems or risks. So this is the first area of GPAS of second generation. And the fourth area is development area. Development area is constant improvement of all the components of GPAS, including also development area. Development area also may be improved. So this is the general structures. Now we will turn to some more details. What is delivery territory? Delivery functions of the delivery territory is just management of projects. So all the processes of project management implementation, project programs implementing. I must tell you one digression. There is a problem with programs in the community of project managers and in public administration. In public administration, projects often consist not only of projects but also of continuous processes, like I mentioned, just tax collection or welfare processes or something like that. So currently, in my opinion, there are so-called mixed programs. Currently, there is no model, no theory of managing mixed programs. Local PMO, working at a public institution, some defines rules may be tailored from general governance territory of implementation of project processes, management of portfolio. There is also some problem in the relation with public implementation. This will be on the next slide. Who is very important in public project stakeholders, because public projects are usually implemented for benefits of the whole society of given country or for some communities. What should be done next? Also, project managers must be some rules for allowing project managers to manage projects. System and methodologies. Software system supporting supporting implementation of public projects. Some rules also for suppliers must be defined. Project assurance, which I mentioned, this is independent evaluation of public projects. So generally, they are the most important functions of delivery territory. What is the governance territory from the central level consists of? By the way, if a public organization implement public projects just based on their knowledge, they must also define their local governance. But here, a governance territory is the governance territory functioning at the central government level, cabinet, or also the judiciary branch of government may enact some law. So the most important components of governance territory is procurement procedures. Each public project must be implemented and especially sign contracts according to procurement procedures. So this is treated as a component of central level government territory. Project governance. Project governance, central government, usually this is implemented by government level PMO, which we'll be talking just a while. Project governance defines the rules for instance, generally project governance consists of three components. This is governance of projects, this is governance of programs, and governance of portfolio. Project governance, consisting of these three components, should be defined at the central level. How we do define portfolio, for instance? GPMO is the central institution. Sometimes it may be at the level even of ministry. This is the case of India, whereas Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Sometimes they may be organizing units of lower level, for instance, of the Chancellery of Prime Minister, of Office of Prime Minister. And I include here also audit chambers. Audit chambers, when auditing public projects, learn a lot of the ways of how institution implement that project. The first function of audit chambers is just making suggestions or decision about future implementation, or maybe stopping given projects or reducing funds or anything like that. The second function of audit chamber here is collecting these practices which they meet in audited projects. This knowledge is published. Like for instance, I was expert of American Federal Audit Chamber, and we collected these practices and published this for general use. And if audit chambers publish something about the ways of implementation, every member of public projects must be aware of this, and these suggestions or guidelines of audit chambers sometimes become more important than project governance defined by GPMO. So there are the two functions: auditing and collecting knowledge. Support. Support. There are two modes of support. This is problem-oriented support and process-oriented support. Problem-oriented support is when there is some institution. In India, this is named Project Management Group. In Australia, there is very interesting solution. There is Major Projects Facilitation Agency. Agency, it means this is parallel to some minister, very important. There are the institution for which troubled projects may apply to support them in solving some problems. Process-oriented support is when a major, very important project receives a special person, usually named patron, which is supporting given project in all its life cycle. The role of such a patron is mainly preventing given projects from problems. So there are two types of support, and the fourth area is the development area. Development area is improving project performance in given jurisdiction. There must be some advice. Sorry, but in the United States, this is called Program Management Policy Council. By the way, this in the United States, it's required for every public institution to have Program Management Improvement Officer, which all the time must think about what might be improved here. So there is some advisory body, well organized is in the Australian state.
Yeah. Yeah. We got it's so interesting, but we got the timing. Yeah, we got
how much time left?
I think you have just 2 or 3 minutes because of
but I started later.
I have to give next words for next speaker, so that's why
but the start of my presentation was delayed. Okay, I will try. The most important is here. I would like to tell you the message from this slide is public policies is the component of government. For instance, if in some country there are two parties one which is for accepting immigrants, the second is anti-immigrants. This policy will decide about portfolio component, and this is not a managerial issue. This is public policies. Public policies are important for understanding the process of public projects implementation. So I will go to governmental project management maturity model. This is based about CMMI, consists of 5 levels. The first level of maturity is initial level. Initial level is when nobody is interested in processes of project management. Namely, some team gives some fund, they receive defined products and schedule, and this is all what is important. The second is local level, when each public institution defines processes of public implementation alone. The most important is the governmental level, where government shapes the base of public project management. The main sign of this level of maturity is defining its presence of the governance area. The next is support level, when they not only monitor, but also support their projects. And the most advanced, like in CMMI, is optimizing. I told about 2 ways of optimizing. The whole platform is, there is a government, there is governmental project management, government project implementation system, and this governmental project implementation matures according to governmental project management maturity model. This is the whole platform of what I wanted to say. One of the proof of correctness of this model is that the US federal project management system developed just according to this model. And the last question is, how would you evaluate, this is Kazakhstan GPM3 level, is this initial, local, governmental level, support, or optimizing level? This is for thinking to you, and how can you improve your, you have a national project management system. That's your name for governmental project implementation system. So thank you. With this managing the speed of presentation. Thank you very much.